over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs for events and race teams, but we also do a lot of stuff from small boutiques in small cities all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Your brand deserves to be seen. We print on more than just shirts, hats, jackets, bags, and much, much more. Custom corporate branding starts here.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome in to another edition of everybody's favorite racing talk show. I would say on the planet, but probably not. Anyways, we're broadcasting live multiple places around the interwebs. Showtime Bobby Chaffee right here. Rodney Rodriguez there to your left. And this is indeed the Revved Up Sports Show, the show that started it all, depending on how you look at it.
The whole planet. It's got to be the whole planet, my man, because, I mean, at least that's what people tell me. That's what people tell me. And speaking of the planet, I think one of the topics of discussion will be, looky there. It's even raining on us.
Yeah, good Lord. Yeah, well, I got lucky last night. The wind came and the rain came, but it didn't come like it came up there by your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I don't know where everybody's at, and I know that I know what my work headquarters over in Missouri. I know that they were talking about weather that they got last night are supposed to get to like Wednesday, and I think that's along the lines of what we're getting here in Central Texas. And the rain really is the theme that we'll be talking about because I don't know if you all are planning to. I mean, and when I say this general region, I mean I'm talking about stretching up. I mean, damn near all the way along the coast here is rain. Rain is going to mess up some shit.
500 miles from every direction we're at.
Man,
it's going to mess up something, and kind of already has.
It is so crazy, the timing of it to where this. It's always Memorial Day. I tell you, man, it's like you can always count on it. I mean, I remember back in the old days, we used to frequent the old Rockney Bazaar out there on Highway 20, between Lockhart and Bastrop, and you had all the food and the all day that went on over there at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church, and then they have a live band. Catholic church with a lot of beer, by the way, and they would have a live band at night, and you could always count about 10 o'clock. The storm was coming, and it wasn't this little ass rain thing that we're showing right now. This was like flooding. This is like what we're getting here all the time. Memorial Day weekend, all the time.
And it's crazy when I think about Memorial Day, when you crack open one of those ancient mid-'80s programs, especially the ones that you have in storage over in the archive, and look at the racing schedule. This Memorial Day weekend is when most of the racetracks used to get started around here.
Yeah.
Nonstop every weekend from Memorial Day to Labor Day.
That's what's so crazy now is it's nonstop all the time. And I know that now there are some breaks in there, but if you kind of look back to that, because back then it factored in that there wasn't as much to do as there is now. So this time of year would roll around and the local racetracks would open up, and it was like, boom, you're waiting for that. And that was your entire summer. I mean, that was your entire summer. And you had the Derby. I don't know what dirt had back in those days, but I know as I got older in December, we'd go to McAllen, and that was boom. That was it. And they had a lot of time off before that. So it's definitely a different time now.
Yeah, McAllen used to be the same weekend as the Snowball Derby. Is the first weekend in December, wasn't it? First weekend in December.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet this dude knows. He's not as old as we are. Well, I don't know how old is Russell. I think he's younger than you.
A couple of years younger than I am.
Yeah, checking in right there. Also, Sugar Sean Folsom checking in. New segment that we're going to have a little bit later on the program. It'll be the weekly Sugar Sean Folsom. Well, Sean Folsom photography photo of the week. So we'll have that coming up a little bit later on as well after we talk to some great guests that are going to be joining us. And actually, we are ready to do that right now as we're talking about weather and different things. I don't know how weather affects different people, but here's a guy who can probably tell us how weather affects it. Man, look at this guy. I thought we were doing audio only, but jumping in on the video, my man, the great Eddie Shoemaker from Mobile International Speedway. Mr. Eddie, how the hell you doing, brother?
Oh, we just sitting down here hoping it don't rain again this weekend, Rodney. We got pulled over on the side of the road, try to figure out how to get on here. So we're ready to race.
So is weather maybe an issue over there too for you? I know over here, man, we're about to get hammered. So which means I'll stay inside all weekend and get hammered the other way. But so are you guys dealing with all that shit over there too?
Yes, sir. We rained out a couple of weeks ago. I believe we're gonna get this one in. We got our fingers crossed. We should get this one in.
Excellent.
So
It's Mobile, Alabama. It's every day of the week we got a chance of rain.
Yeah, I remember.
Gulf Coast is that way. So Eddie, talk about the plight of the promoter on that deal. No promoter likes to have his place empty, especially with weather. But it's like, that's the one element you can't control is the weather. But by that point, if you call it too early and it doesn't rain enough, people are pissed off. If you call it too late, people don't come towards you. People get pissed off. I mean, how do you balance that level of where people are going to get pissed off this week on the World Wide Web?
When we got 85% all week, pretty much just a given. You're gonna get it, and then it'll be so wet in the parking lot, so wet. Everything will be so wet you really don't want to race. And then normally what I do is I just call Mama. I said, Mama, start praying, and you tell me what to do. She'll let me. She usually let me know by Friday at dinner.
And Eddie, that's for folks that don't know. We've talked about this on this and Dirty Air before. So this is like a double-edged sword for you because you got to not only do you got to deal with the Big Mama Oval right there, but then you got a drag racing. You got Mobile Dragway over there to deal with, man. So it's one way or the other. Somebody's not going to be happy with what you do.
One way or the other. This weekend we got both tracks running, so we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely.
And this is what I call my humdinger. This is the Lee Fields Memorial. So we're going to do everything in our power to get it in. Maybe Mother Nature will help us a little bit.
Absolutely.
So Eddie, how cool is that to continue a tradition like the Lee Fields Memorial? I mean, we got big races all over the country, but it seems like these local memorial races that can draw people from a distance, they just seem like they end up being a lot cooler than a normal race. But talk about being able to continue to do a race of that magnitude at your facility.
It's like I say, it's one of my bigger races of the year. It means a lot to me because it's Lee Fields. I've been going there since I was a tadpole, and this race here probably means more to me than any other race we're going to put on. So Miss Ida loves it, Lee's wife, and also we're going to try to put on a good show for everybody out that way too.
And isn't that the great thing, Eddie, when having the track back open, I mean, and everything going right there, and there are so many parts. I think what you all have done so well is like, I mean, a lot of the history of Mobile International Speedway is still there, yet you're continually working to get it, into the more traditional day today. But still these kind of, and honoring these people that have been so important in the history of this historic racetrack.
Yeah, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to the whole crew because the guys that's down there now, a lot of them, they've been there when Lee was still alive, still running it. So it's pretty much a lot of the old and some new, and we just mixed it together and we pull it off. Somehow we pull it off.
Yeah, absolutely.
So talk about the state of racing there in Southern Alabama. I mean, obviously it's not quite as simple as it was years ago. You put out a paper flyer and people say, hey, I want to come to the racetrack. There's a hell of a lot more stuff to do everywhere around the country. So what's the state of it? You have your regulars that are there every week, and then you got your visitors, and then, just talk about the state of racing. Is it just as easy as all the armchair promoters think it's going to be?
It ain't easy at all. When I got the track, we concentrated on local racing. We brought back normal late model races instead of everything being a 100-lap race. We brought back 40, 50-lap late model race, trying to get the local guys back involved. And so far, we're doing okay. We're doing okay with all the local racing, and then we'll throw a bigger one in here and there, to give everybody else who likes big racing something to do too, just a little bit for everybody. But we concentrate on our local guys.
That's what it's all about. That's the backbone of everything, especially at a place like Mobile. So, Eddie, talk about with the Lee Fields this year. You got UARA a part of it, and having that connection there with Ricky and his group. I mean, when they come to town, I mean, they come buttoned up and packed up and ready to go. Talk about that. Pro late models getting after it for 100 laps. What's your suspicions coming up on this one?
They're gonna battle it out and brawl. It's gonna be somebody. The winner's probably gonna be somebody that races there or has raced there many a times. I look for it to be, it'll come down to a Dustin Smith, Jake Finch, somebody that's won there multiple times, and then you never know. We might have a sleeper slip in there and take it off.
Yes, sir.
Man, Eddie, the one thing I love about Mobile, the first time I got to see it was the first time I had to be a race director. And I show up to this great big half mile in the middle of basically kind of nowhere outside of Mobile. But man, oh man, does that place put on a show. High banks, no wall, just wide open all the way around that damn thing. Talk about that track itself. How cool is it for that place to be? I remember during the drivers meeting, I said, when the green flag drops, you can go. They kept asking all these extra questions. Well, what does that mean? It means when the green flag drops, this place is fast. Button up, boys. Tuck them up, put them on the dash, and go.
Yeah, we've had like one of our last races, I think we had sprint cars there, and we had a pretty good turnout. And some of them guys had never raced Mobile. And after their first little practice out there, we was talking with them. I said, the best thing to do is hold it to the floor, and it will let you know when it's time to lift. Which it's high banked, and you can get around. It's a fast track. They say it's the fastest track in the South, and I'll be damn, I believe them.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. Totally agree. So, Eddie, let's talk about, you mentioned those local divisions. And again, you've grown, the legacies have really blossomed, and your pure stocks and your sportsmen and all of them. Kind of talk about that continues to be a work in progress, but it's the main thing is it looks like what you have is you have the continued support of those teams. And at the same time, you got more that are coming around. So to me, that's good progress. Are you happy with the progress up until this point?
I'm happy with about everyone. Yeah, I'm happy with all of our classes. The legacies, it really took off. The best thing I ever saw, Gina brought them down here. I'm like, now that right there is cool. I like that. And we've been able to keep our Texas guys coming, and a lot of our guys has purchased cars. And we've got a good field of legacies, pure stocks. They're slowly building and coming. You know, you'll get a couple new ones every year, and just they try to find sponsors. That's the biggest thing you got to do with a race car. You're not going to race out of your pocket if you got a real job. You better be rich when you start. But yeah, it's coming along. Trucks are strong. All of our classes, they're coming along about according to plan.
Right on.
So what's obviously the Leaf Fields is this weekend. Do you have plans to do anything, bigger, like 200 laps, or other than like when having Ricky's big UARA shows come in there? I mean, or is it just more like we want to get the Leaf Fields in because that's the marquee race, that's what we're known for, that we're going to get this one right, and then let the bigger people come in when they come in?
We've got Ricky's race UARA. It rained out a couple weeks ago, so we're trying to figure out a date to reschedule. There's so many tracks with super late models running, so we're looking. We'll try to get that one made up, and then we've got Southern Super Series. They coming in later in the year during the heat of the summer. We're gonna put on another 100-lap super race there, and then Halloween night, October 31st, we got what we gonna try. We're gonna run 200-lap pro late model race with one hell of a purse.
Nice. What? When is that one? When is that one, Eddie?
Halloween night, October 31st.
Halloween night.
We've got something for the kids, and I think it's going to be a good show.
Wow, that sounds good. That sounds really, really good. Last one for me, Mr. Eddie. One thing that's so important there at Mobile International Speedway is the support of the community. And I remember in my time there, when the track came back, I mean, everybody was so fired up. Kind of talk about that. I mean, that's an institution right there. Mobile, Irvington, Pascagoula. I mean, just everything right there. Talk about how the community just rallies around everything that you guys do. I see enhanced media coverage. I mean, I know you guys had Simone out there at one point, and hell, now she's in New York. I don't know if you know that or not, but kind of talk about that part. I mean, man, everybody in that area just loves that racetrack.
They've been supporting, which is good. That's good for me, that's for sure. Channel 5, Channel 15, the news stations, they work with us. The radio stations, it's like everything's just falling into place. It kind of makes my job easy.
Yeah.
Until it rains out.
Yeah.
Mother Nature does that to you. She puts gray hair on everybody.
Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Well, Eddie, we thank you for dropping by. I know you got a busy week. Best of luck with the Lee Fields
Hey,
Memorial.
I got one more. I just thought of
His
Bobby. I'm
brain
sorry.
just kicked in. There you go.
I got one more. Hey, Mr. Eddie, how do I get one of those belts? I need one of those belts. I got a wrestling belt collection. I mean, I got two. I need one of those Mobile belts.
All you got to do is just come to the track, bring a race car. Every division, the winner in every division gets one. So you got to win it.
Oh, shit. I thought you meant just show up. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bobby. Close him out. Sorry about that.
Now he's going to be disappointed the rest of the show. We're going to have to find a way to get him another belt. He likes them big old gaudy things.
I love them belts.
We'll get a replica.
Ric Flair.
Yeah.
We'll get him a replica made and send it to Texas.
There you go. There you go. All right, Mr. Eddie. Looking forward to it, man. Thank you for always jumping on, and good luck, dude. I'll be checking in with you, brother.
All right, man. Thank y'all.
You bet. There he goes, Eddie Shoemaker. The Lee Fields Memorial coming up this weekend there at Mobile International Speedway. Of course, you can catch that exclusively on Ultra Broadcasting, and it is, man. That Lee Fields, that's one of those names over there with these, area racetracks, whether it's a dirt track or an asphalt track, where there are names that just mean so much. Lee Field, you go say Lee Fields in Mobile, shit. That's like saying that's damn near as powerful as Nick Saban over there.
Well, I mean, obviously they've got the, they've got the legacy, right? I'm not talking about the class. I'm talking about just the time that builds down there, right? He was a legacy. He's a legacy person in racing, especially in that vicinity. Even going down into Pensacola, you knew who he was. And when you mention it, it's still, and that's the best part about it, is it still holds a lot of weight nowadays. And that's the coolest part, that when the legacy can live on like that. And obviously the track is still there, wide open. I mean, it's, like I said, the first time I saw it, I was with you. And I was like, oh hell, what did I get myself into coming to this big ass place?
Yeah, it really is one of those places. And I think from what he's talking about there, I know in conversations that I've had, I know Bill Roth and I were talking one time, and definitely in the South. And I mean, not a slight at any other racetrack, not a slight at obviously Pensacola, but Mobile is the fastest. I think the only other track, and somebody will have to tell me, and again, you can do revvedup@sportshow@gmail.com or at the Rodney R, or, message us here or whatever. But I think the only one that may be faster in the country for short tracks is Winchester. And that's, obviously the one with, it's like driving up the Appalachian Mountains when you get to the corners right there. But Mobile is just, I'm glad they haven't put walls on that place, because that's, to me, that just adds a little bit more of the, gonad.
All in turn one. How many times that damn thing been knocked over?
Oh my goodness. I mean, that
hurt.
Look, I was only there a year and a half, man, but I saw cars sail off of there, and the stories are infamous of, cars going off of the back straightaway, and then in turn 3, and there's the story of the one guy that went off, and they go looking for him, they couldn't find him, they hear screaming, and the dude's up in the trees. I mean, that's how treacherous that is over there, and that front straightaway is banked. It's like shit. I mean,
it's blank. It's banked except for that flat piece where everybody tries to run, while the late models come out of the corner and run on that flat piece.
Yeah,
it's just wide enough to stick a car, and those dudes will hop up on there, and it makes such, because it's not groove, but it's kind of like when you get off to the side of the road. There's a little bit of like, what do you call it? Like not a tarmac, but like
it's like that uneven
rumble strip kind of thing. And they sit there and they make a weird ass noise when they jump over that.
Yeah, you know what? That truly is a cushion. I mean, that up there really is a cushion. But the thing is, you come off the banking, and then, I mean, the banking isn't as great on the straightaway as it is, obviously, in the turns. But still, you get off on that, and, the ass end is going to want to go its own little direction, because it is flat. I mean, you go from this to that, and it'll get you, and it's a concrete wall. And it's taken many a good man. It's taken many a good man.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only wall in the whole place. You got to work to get to it.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Eddie Shoemaker right there. The Lee Fields Memorial 100. The UARA Pro Late Models are going to be a part of that. You got local classes, I believe. Everything 7:30 ish. I think 8 o'clock is the start time, so you can catch that exclusively on Ultra Broadcasting, ultrabroadcasting.com. Be sure and check that out, and it will definitely be a good one. It will definitely.
Let's see here. Friday's just practice. Legacy, there's practice starting about 3 o'clock ish. And then let's see, 5:45. Pro cars qualify.
Okay.
It looks like two at a time for 3 laps, and it's all qualifying to about 7:45 ish pre-race. The national anthem about 7:45.
Nice.
And then the features start at 8. Crown Stock, Sportsman, Pro Truck, Legacy, Pro Late Models, Pure Stocks, and Outlaws.
And that's a great card. And the thing about it is that may be one of the few places that you're going to get racing, because like we said, like Eddie was talking about, weather's an issue there too. So we'll see how that all pans out. We will see how that all pans out. Hopefully they're able to get that one in, because like he mentioned, they did have the rain out for the Super for Ricky's race, and he talked about that October 31st. Again, there'll be additional details coming up. We'll have great coverage of that, and again, you can see all of that, all the action from Mobile International Speedway on Ultra Broadcasting. And scheduled to join us here at the bottom of the hour, probably about 8 minutes out, we're going to talk to one of the aces here in these parts when it comes to dirt track racing. Trevor Egbert will join us, and we'll talk a little bit about some of what he's been getting into, because that dude will run anything. Last night, Bobby, FS1, once again, we had a little dose of high limits, getting after it on national television there, kind of in co-op with Flo. Again, nicely packaged. Felt a lot like, feels a lot like Supercross. Feels a lot like a Supercross show when they do something like that. What they have, 35? I think they said 35 sprint cars. Got it all done in just over 2 hours.
Just under 2 hours, a nice made for TV. I mean, I think the TV package helps when they don't show hot laps. I mean, I don't think you really need to show hot laps on a national telecast. I mean, a lot of people say they'll watch anything, but I mean, just in terms of like regular hot lapping, you don't need to see that, especially not on a national TV broadcast.
Well, and that's, I mean, that's part of the thing when you package something up like that, and you're going to try to sell it to a different demographic, is when people are watching something like that for the first time, as they're sitting there watching that, and it's like, obviously, I got to here's an example. So I got a text last night from a buddy of mine, one of our radio buddies here in Austin, where I guess he came across that. He was, you had the Knicks and the Cavaliers last night, and he was waiting for that to start, and he turned it on, and right about the time it ended, he had flipped back over, and he said, okay, how many, and again, this is the NASCAR part factoring into this. He's like, okay, so they're done here. How many laps is the next segment? And I'm like, no, that's it. That's all. It's over. That's it. And he's like, well, that sucks. It's different. You're going to a new audience when you do stuff like that. It's not a Flow audience. That's an FS1 audience.
It's kind of like it's like trying to get your two different sets of fans in the stands, right? Mm-hmm. Your hardcore fans, those are the ones watching on Flow. They're not even watching on FS1. They're not watching the simulcast. But your average fan seeing something different. Oh, what's this car with the wing? Or, oh, did you see that one flip and fly? Or, oh, wait, they say Kyle Larson? I recognize that name.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that's your casual-ish fan coming to watch that. And I think they'll get some people hooked. To me, it was a much better race than the last race they had on FS1. Not near as many flips, not near as many stop and goes. A tough hit there for Marks. That was a hell of a hit in that yellow car. And then Jason Pursley just would know where to go, just bam. And then Texas own, what was it? Chase, what was that kid? Chase Randall.
Yeah, the Bush's chicken car.
Yeah. A fit for him too. So, I mean, it just goes to show you they don't have to flip to be pretty violent crashes.
And the thing about it is, I mean, when you really think about that, and that's where I look at some of those races to where I think, and again, I don't know. I just think that High Limits is in a better spot like that. I mean, obviously with the relationships that the owners and the people involved in that series have. I mean, look, World of Outlaws is the World of Outlaws. I mean, it's huge. It's the original. It's everything there. But I think that those relationships right there enable High Limits to be able to jump on FS1 in different spots like that, and showcase dirt track racing. And I did see again, this can be our little bit of a weekly sampling of the keyboard warrior thing, to where it's like, people bitching that the World of Outlaws isn't on FS1. Well, I mean, maybe they need to try to figure out a way to get on one of those things. I mean, it's just easier, I think, because of the name recognition, like you talked about last night. When people see Kyle Larson and these different names pop up, I mean, that's instant draw that you're going to get. That's free. That's free. That's free. And there's not a lot of push, when High Limits goes to these. Every now and then you'll see somewhat of a tease, during one of those talk shows where they're all yelling at each other all day, where it's like, coming up tonight, High Limits, but it's very instantaneous. And it's all social media is how they're doing it. So it's a good way to get the product in front of people, I think.
Well, I mean, I think that every once in a while you'll see an outlaw show pop up on CBS, network TBS, but it's a week to 2 weeks behind. It's not live like it is when High Limit goes to FS1. So the one thing I noticed, maybe you'll agree or disagree, I feel like High Limit acknowledges the World of Outlaws and their racers and their competitors and stuff like that. They acknowledge it way more that they exist, and Outlaws acknowledge that High Limit exists. Because I heard it multiple times last night. Oh, he was your outlaw winner at so-and-so Speedway, and he was your outlaw winner at so-and-so Speedway, and ran this during Knoxville Speed Weeks. And, I just feel like the broadcast team is more open. They're not in their little WWE bubble thinking that it's the only show in town, that they're, they don't mention anybody else because they're, I don't know, high and mighty might not be the right word, but
yeah, that's a great point. And I mean, I think that's something that needs to happen a little more. Yeah, Aaron Reitzel did win again, and that's I mean, he really is good. I mean, but I will say that I was glad that it was a closer race, like Bobby's talking about. But there needs to be a little needs to be a little more of that, because I do get that they're in business against one another, no matter how that's happened. But the other part about it, like talking like what Eddie was talking about, right? I think that it's really cool that Eddie Shoemaker. Eddie Shoemaker's as down home and normal dude as you and I, Bobby, and everybody else that's going to be checking this show out. What Eddie does, Eddie's got ASA and UARA and sprint cars, and I mean, he's got them all at his track. I mean, that's impressive. That's impressive, and it's okay to coexist. Ain't got to like each other, right? Just coexist a little bit, I think, in my opinion, like you're talking about.
Well, I mean, I think it's no different, I mean, obviously, if two people like the same old girl, you're going to get a little competition. But, if you both want to be in the same place at the same time, like no different than buying a car. You got another, when you're looking at a car, you're probably not the only person that looked at that car.
Yeah.
So you got to find a way to make it work. And, you got to get on it while it's time to get on it. And I just think, like I said, I just feel like the Outlaws they just try to be oblivious to the fact that everything else exists, when I think that's a negative thing. But the drivers will talk about it. I mean, one time when one of the dudes won at Cotton Bowl a couple of years ago, he says, "Oh, I'm just testing my stuff for High Limits at TMS."
Yeah.
They cut that part out on the replay they had on CBS about a week and a half later.
Yeah, that's the other thing, to where it's like when you act like it's not, that's kind of that elephant in the room thing, that we talk about, to where it's there, and you don't have to sit here and talk about, well, I mean, don't give race dates and all that, but I think it's good business. I mean, because in the end of this, and this is what we've talked about with the racetracks, is we're all in this together, to steal a Disney line. We're all in this together, right? You talk all the time about rising tide lifts all boats, or well, I'm probably saying that wrong, but in the long run, that's what we're all wanting to do, right? We're wanting to better the sport, and we're wanting to keep this thing going. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen that could kill this sport at any point, and it doesn't need to be all of us bitching at each other and acting like the other one doesn't exist, unless it gets, when it gets a little vindictive, that's different, but it's okay to get along.
I mean, even at the local level, I mean, when we were having our big Fireball race at Texana, we were promoting the I-37 race coming up the weekend after, because we weren't racing.
Right.
We were promoting the big race at Race Ranch that unfortunately Mother Nature got a hold of today and washed out because we weren't racing.
Right.
And then on the tracks, the days at the tracks that I aforementioned are racing against us, I'm not promoting my fans to go to another racetrack.
Right.
There's certain times and place where it's okay to promote other places when it benefits everybody.
That's right. That's right. Speaking of everybody, guy coming up that he's an everybody because he races everywhere, and that's coming up. Trevor Egbert with us momentarily, but first, ODS, the official apparel provider of the Revved Up Sports Show, of BC, of me, and of racers all around the country. Be sure and check these folks out, whether you're looking for T-shirts, caps, whatever it may be. They're going to take care of you, and they're based right here in the Alamo City in San Antonio, home of the San Antonio Spurs. Looking for that 2-0 lead tonight, repping this stuff because I got to get ready for the game coming up after the program. But the great folks there at On Demand Shirts, they'd love to take care of you. Here's a word from our great friends at On Demand Shirts.
Why is branded apparel so important for your company? Well, because a shirt or even a hat that has your brand on it gets worn to grocery stores, baseball games, or even family reunions. The impressions are endless and they last years. Contact us today so we can help elevate your company.
That's right. ODS. Best place to go is to Facebook. Check them out at On Demand Shirts. All right. Talking racing for the weekend. We're going to dive in as we get ready to welcome in. I mean, one of the most synonymous racing last names that you're going to find in this part of the country. Joining us here on Russ, it is Trevor Egbert. Trevor, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. And how are y'all?
Doing well, my man. So are you weather watching? You trying to figure out what the hell you're going to do this weekend?
Yeah, I'd already kind of canceled some plans. We were going to go run the little all-star tour there, and it washed out 2 of the nights. So weather permitting, we'll probably end up at Kennedale and then Waco Sunday.
Absolutely.
So how do you pick and choose your schedule? I mean, you've been running stems a little bit here and there, and had the race down at I-37. Now you're going to run the All-Star. We're going to run the All-Star Tour. I mean, are you just like a roll the dice and go with it, or do you have is there a method to the madness on which track you're going to show up with that night?
Well, it's a family deal. We've got Ryder, my son races, and then Jet, and he's my stepson. He races, and the perfect scenario is we're all at the same track together. Does that always happen? No, but that's what we like to do. And then also, we might as well call him my son-in-law. He races as well. So there's a lot of us racing. My dad, my brother. So perfect case. We're all at the same track, but it doesn't happen very often.
Absolutely. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Trevor, so let's talk. Bobby mentioned right there about stems. Let's talk about in a third place run there at I-37 with some of those San Antonio, South Texas guys. Kind of talk about stems this year. Your thoughts on it? They're kind of broadening the horizons a little bit. Your thoughts 2026 on that series?
Yeah. So this is our first year to run it, and it's a very well put together ran show. So that makes it a lot of fun. As us being drivers that kind of make you feel important, they ask for your input. It really does feel like it's catered towards the drivers, and that's real important with how expensive everything is. I mean, everybody wants to feel valued. So if they're giving that kind of value to you and respect towards you, then I mean, why not keep supporting them?
So, Trevor, maybe this is a mindset thing. The one thing that Rodney and I have noticed over the years from doing this show and doing the announcing, it seems like the guys and gals that are in the upper divisions, if you will, your bigger, more money classes and stuff like that, when it comes to doing interviews like this, when it comes to interacting with the fans at the track, it just seems like you guys and gals get it and you understand that. Is that because you have to when you're in the bigger classes, like you mentioned, like stems wants to be super interactive with the drivers and stuff like that? Is that something that you're taught, or is that something that you just inherently know you got to do because of the series you're racing?
Well, when we first started, I remember my first win and getting on the microphone and not knowing what to say and being so shy, and it's kind of like watching the kids when they win now. It just comes kind of naturally as you get older. And we're here to help promote the sport. We want fans in the stands and all of that stuff, but we also, sponsorships help. So if you can get on here and give a shout out to, Ellis Air Systems, who is a big sponsor to us, or Speed Secrets, something like that, you're bringing more to the table for them, and hopefully they feel recognized, and it just helps. I mean, especially with the way the economy is, and all the 38 kids I just said that we help with racing. If you sponsor my son's car, you're sponsoring our whole race team, really. I mean, so it helps for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And see, I mean, you know what to do right there. I mean, sponsor drop. I mean, boom. I mean, you know how this shit works. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt about it. Trevor, so I do want to ask you, because we had this discussion last week, kind of after the Boot Hill race with the factory stock, and so forth. I know you have one hell of a fast IMCA stock car. Kind of talk about the stock cars, man. That especially coming from a guy like you that has run the stock cars for the amount of time that you have with the success. Just kind of talk about how great those cars are still. I mean, factory stocks are fine, but give me some stock car love.
Yeah. So I always thought of myself as a modified racer. And whenever I'd run a stock car, I kind of felt like, I don't know, I'd rather be in a modified. Well, now we're back on a modified, and I really miss my stock car. The stock car was fun. It was it's a very competitive class, and you can go anywhere and run them. You can go just like a modified. I can run a little bit of hand-me-down stuff, still some of my brother's old shocks or my dad's, and still be competitive. And that's really not the case with the mods. You gotta have your stuff way too together, and doing it by yourself. The mod is really hard. The stock car, you can get away with, I'm not going to say half-assing it, but you can get away with a little less on it. But looking back there, I mean, they're the most fun cars to drive for me. I love them.
Yep.
So, Trevor, one of the things we were talking about last week, we were talking to Marcus about the All-Star deal. And it seems like, and we've seen it with stems, and then we see it up in North Texas with some of the outlaw stuff. It seems like if it's got that IMCA sticker on it, especially when it comes to like sport mods and stuff, that's where the cars are coming from. A lot of the racetracks that just call them limited mods because they're not allowed to call them sport mods, they struggle with car count. But it seems like stuff with that IMCA sticker is really doing fairly well with car count. So what is your take on that? I know a lot of guys run the outlaws and they don't want to follow the IMCA rules, but they have the same problems when they run outlaws and all that stuff too.
Right.
But talk about that from your perspective as somebody that runs an IMCA sanctioned car.
So I could leave right now next month, and we could go run in South Dakota and run a tour, and our car is going to be the same rules at every track. Now, it's kind of like the factory stocks. You talk to some people that can run headers, some they got to run manifold, some you got to. I mean, there's just too much division, and in my eyes, it's hurting racing. I mean, altogether. You go to some tracks in Dallas with a sport mod, and you can have a quick change, and you go to other tracks, so when you run IMCA or you run a sanctioning body, for the most part what you're racing against. I mean,
no doubt about it.
That's the biggest thing. If I were to have a street stock and go run in Florida, I don't know what I would be racing against. But if I take my modified to Florida and run an IMCA race, I know exactly what I'm racing against. So,
Yep, great balance. I do want to ask you. You talked about the kids and kids and more kids and all that. How about for you? I mean, at one time you were the kid. I mean, you were the little one. Yeah, with that long family tree of Egberts, and now kind of talk about that part. And yet you keep the competitive nature. Kind of talk how it all comes full circle. You're still a young dude, but man, time flies, and she's going even faster these days, isn't she?
You ain't lying. So what's funny about that is before the kids started racing, I would always hate for someone younger to beat me. Oh man, it would just irritate me. Just young little whippersnappers coming up and they, were fast one night and they beat you, and nothing would piss me off more. And now, as I see our kids racing and doing good and winning, now I love to see a young kid beat us. It's weird, kind of how that's changed. We're out here for fun. We're not trying to go to the next level. We're not, we're out here to spend time with family and have fun and watch the kids race and help them out. Really.
Mm-hmm.
So, Trevor, for your kids and the Egbert clan, it seemed like it was easier, more natural progression to get the kids from the seats into the driver's seats. What's the key to get some of these other kids out of the grandstands, or hell, even just getting kids in general to a racetrack so we can get that next generation of racers, of
Take this
fans,
away.
of whatever? What's the key to get some of them here?
That is a great question. I think you could probably make any kid or tell a kid that he can do it, but it's truly a lifestyle. I mean, it's a lifestyle for the parents. So the parents are I'm not going to say we ever pushed our kids to race. By no means. It was natural for them to want to race, but they've got to have the same as my dad did for me. I mean, the understanding of what it all takes. I mean, because most families, I mean, you're asking a lot to sacrifice basically everything every weekend, for one of your kids to go race. And I mean, it's hard. It's a lifestyle. I mean, as cliche as that is, but it really is.
It really is. I mean, people just don't understand. I mean, it's like they don't get it. I mean, like when I talk to people, I get to know people and different things, whether it's business, and they talk about, well, when I was a kid, I did this, and they're telling me different things. They're like, what'd you do? I went to the racetrack. And they're like, we'd go to the movies and did concerts on the weekend. What'd you do? I went to the racetrack. What'd you do during the week? We worked on race cars. I mean, people, they just don't get it, do they?
No, I don't think they do. I'll be sitting at. I had one of our kids that did travel ball and listen to the parents talk about how expensive the baseball was and how much time it was, and it is. I mean, everything's expensive if you want to be good at it. But I was just the whole time thinking that just how much. Just really, how much you sacrifice to do it. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. I feel like it's taught our kids so much. It's taught them how to win. It's taught them how to lose. It's taught myself that you can be on a streak and be good, and you got to know how to act. And you can be just the worst driver around for a couple of weeks, and you still got to know how to carry yourself and act. So it's difficult. It's humbling for sure.
Right.
That's the one that we talk about from the penthouse to the outhouse in the span of about 3 corners, and then you never know what's going to happen, right? So in terms of the family dynamic, when you talk about your dad racing, your brothers racing, and it was kind of inevitable for you to go racing. Did you ever feel that pressure in Central Texas about being part of that lineage? Were you just like, man, I got to win because they're winning, or I need to do well here because they've run well here for years? How did that fit for you?
Yeah, not really. There wasn't too much pressure. I mean, when you're in racing, you're naturally, I mean, we're a competitive family. So it wasn't, you don't really feel or I never really felt the pressure to win. I just went out there and did the best I could. And my dad was great about how to coach you. I mean, he would never come in, and I mean, whenever I would come in off the track, he would never be yelling or hollering or why'd you do this or why'd you go to the bottom or why. He was. It was pretty amazing how well. I know he wanted me to do good and wanted me to win, but it was never. He wanted me to maintain good car control and not drive over my head. That was his main thing.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
That's a missing element for some of these kiddos nowadays in any discipline, dirt, pavement, whatever, driving over their head without an idea of car control.
Yeah, no, it's so easy to do it. And I learned the hard way. I was at Texas Motor Speedway and in hot laps and took out a guy in hot laps, and it was my fault. I drove him too deep, got in the left rear, flattened his wheel and tire, and I went and talked to the gentleman, and I was prepared to take my ass chewing, and he gave me one, and I remember walking back thinking I did not like that, and I mean, he was right, everything he said, and I kind of learned from that. I didn't really like that feeling, and didn't want that to happen again.
Yeah. Respect and all of that, and some common sense every now and then, if you can do it, really goes a long way. I got one more for you, Trevor. So, kind of just with the discussion there and the kiddos and so forth, and this is something we talk about here a lot as well. With the sport mods or limited mods, I mean, whatever you want to call them, kind of fallen off a little bit, and depending on geographically where you are, maybe they're strong, maybe they're not. In my opinion, it seems like that, and there's some great veteran drivers in there, but I think that class is kind of suiting itself, like for Ryder, for example, to kind of work into that and get out of a junior limited and kind of get in there with some veterans. Kind of talk about that class. I think it's kind of finding a different niche, whatever, if you want to call it that.
I think trying to just trying to put your kids kind of where you think they're going to fit best. We started Ryder. He ran the juniors, and then we got him a factory last year. And really, that the factories weren't his strong suit. Now, our other son, Jet, the factories are his strong suit. He's killing it everywhere he goes. So I think it's just another class, kind of to just try to fit in. I mean, if you can, to me, I think it fits Ryder's driving style, and so he's good in that. And I think the factories really fit Jet's driving style. Now, if you were to switch them around, they probably would. Their races, they'd figure out how to win, but. I like the limiteds. I think they're a good class, honestly. To say they're cheap, that's just nothing is. I don't care. I mean, when you start just adding up everything, nothing is cheap, but it probably is a little more affordable, maybe. I mean, of course, if you want to run up top, you still got to spend the money. So,
yep.
I don't know why they're dying the way they are. I wish they wouldn't. But I don't know if it's just them. I think it's racing in general. I think it's all classes across the board. I don't. I did notice when we were down in Pleasanton last week, and I don't even think were they running sport? They weren't even running sport. Yeah, nope. And that's kind of abnormal. But so I guess they've kind of really fallen in the South Texas area. We haven't really noticed it up here. We, around the Dallas Fort Worth area, Waco. I don't feel like we've really noticed a full drop in the sport mod division. I wouldn't say.
That's about right.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we had a promoter one time that said, "Never say a class is cheap. Never say it's entry level. Say that it's cost effective." Is how we were supposed to do those classes where it was a little less cost of barrier to entry, if you will.
Well, we're racers, and we like to race for money. And I mean, hell, it was 2 weeks ago we were at Boot Hill watching Jet race for $30,000 to win. And so anytime you start throwing money, there's going to be people that spend the money to try to make the money. We're racers, and our math doesn't really math up. We'll spend 30 grand to win 10. Some say we're not that smart, but.
Yeah. That's definitely what we do. All of our math in pencils. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. Trevor, we appreciate you jumping on, man. Good luck with the rest of Stims, and hope you get to race this weekend, dude, because things are looking kind of shady. So we'll see how it goes, man. But good luck, and hopefully we can do this again later on this year, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, and we enjoyed it, and race on.
Yeah, there you go. All right, brother. Take care.
All right, thanks. Bye.
You bet.
Thanks, Trevor.
There he goes, Trevor Egbert from the famous Egbert family of racers. And that is a tree. That is, man, so many that have just been crazy good and continue to be. And there's more, as he's talking about. There are more in the woodwork.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they're all, like I said, they're all the Egberts are fast. Every single one of them. They all, whatever class they're running, they always are pretty damn hard to beat. And not that that's a bad thing. I mean, that's what you want. I mean, that's what you want. Everybody's there for the camaraderie. One of the things I was going to ask Trevor, and I think but I think he kind of in a roundabout way answered it, was, the camaraderie aspect of it. I mean, obviously, because he talked about going to everybody race together at the same track and stuff like that. So I think when you have that family lineage and you have that family aspect of it, I think it changes the dynamic. I think it changes, some of that camaraderie, because you've got the family bond. It's the people like you and I that didn't come from racing families. I mean, your dad raced. Obviously, nobody in my family raced except for my uncle, but you didn't come from a long line of racing Rodriguez's. You didn't. your dad, you had your dad, your uncle,
We cleaned the track.
and that
I'm
was
just
it,
kidding.
So,
No, I'm just kidding.
I think that the dynamic changes when you have so much family involved, but I also think that makes it probably a little more complicated too when you got that much every time you have family involved in anything, if you got too much involved, too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
Yeah. Well, and I think that that's a big part about it, to where you have the families, and I can tell you this. I mean, just from, the Egberts are one of the families that I can talk about that were really good with this. Like when we came in, it was when we sailed over on the boat into the world of racing. It was obviously for us two of the biggest ones. Well, in San Antonio. Like I will tell you, the Oates family, the Howell family, they were extremely gracious to Dad, and would welcome him in and welcome us, and different things, and they were kind of the staples here in San Antonio that were just good people, and the Brooks family, Leroy and Betty and Terry, were racing over there at the time, and Lee Mackin, was one of those guys with Jim Palace, where they would do Austin and San Antonio. But like for me, and this was kind of a little bit later, to where welcoming in, I will always say, that the Wallace and the Stewarts were just so good to me. It was like, they would joke around at the track that I was Rodney Stewart or Rodney Wallace, or the great Frankie Wallace would always say, "You're the one Hispanic kid I finally had." I took that as a compliment. So that's what those families are so good at, is when you do have new folks that come in, is they welcome them, and that's how you keep people involved with this stuff.
But I think you have to have there's got to be some kind of olive branch. That's why it's so hard today. I think getting the next generation involved is so hard, and moving people from the grandstands to the driver's seat.
Yeah.
It's like, you and I, and we talked about it here before, is that the racers don't hang out like they did back in the day when we were doing it. But
Yeah.
we, as kids, you went out and you stood at the gate at Longhorn, you stood at the gate at San Antonio, Corpus, anywhere, Lanier in Georgia. You wanted to see your heroes. You wanted to shake their hands. You wanted their autograph, even if it's the same exact autograph you got the week before. And those guys became, you became a fan, and they, that's how you come. That's how I'd known H.
Yeah.
I've known H longer than Marianne, because I was a Nico racing fan and would be over there showing pictures and all of that good stuff. And so it's like, but you don't see that as much nowadays because nobody stays. It's too businesslike. It's like, one, everybody comes in an open in an enclosed trailer. Very rarely do you see an open trailer anymore. And then it's like, which trailer's theirs? Oh, it's the white one. Oh, well, shit, that helps out a whole lot.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of it is with the competitors is, they don't want to, they don't care to know you. They don't care to know me. It's, because, and then at some point they never get to know you. They never get to, have conversations with you, and then you start beating them and they don't like you. And it's never, with the Jake Wallace thing, I could tell you one of the first feature races where I had like a legitimate chance to win there at Austin is I led the whole thing, and then something happened. I got took out at the end, and then got my spot back or whatever, and I'm driving along, and I still think I'm going to win. And Heath Stewart drives by on the outside and wins, and whatever. And that night there was a track dance going on. They had a track dance on the backstretch like we used to do over there. And that's one of the first nights that I bonded with Jake Wallace, because he walked up and he's like, "That's my cousin, but I fucking wanted you to win." He was like, "I was going for you." And that doesn't happen anymore. You don't care to know the people. Those lifetime friendships and shit. You don't. It just doesn't happen anymore, and that's sad, because that's one of the most important things I think in this sport, is that you build those relationships and the friendships, and it's just a really good thing. It's just a really good thing. Speaking of longtime friendships, one of our longtime buddies, Sugar Sean Folsom, a part of the staff right here at Revved Up Incorporated. That's not a real incorporation, just making shit up here as we go. But one of the things that we want to start doing here on the program is the different things that Sean does. I mean, we've had him on here. He's talked about involvement with the different stuff that he's done. He himself, he fits in very well with us because he's kind of done every aspect of it. But what we're going to do is we're going to start doing the Sean Folsom photography photo of the week, because this dude is everywhere. And here's the one that we're going to right here. And we're getting input from Sean on this. This right here from left to right, this is Kane Kibosh. And again, you're going to know these names right here, the last names. Madison West and Alex Balch. And what Sean said he liked about this one right here, he said, look at the determination right here. Look, the one kid's hanging out of the car. I mean, that's how you do it right there. Look at that. That's great photography. And that's you got one below the white line right there. Hey, dude, they get after it. And what a great weekend it looked like for the quarter midgets.
Well, back-to-back weekends. They did a fantastic job there at Coda, and then they ran their own race at the home track there in Austin, and both weekends stacked, just nonstop. But I mean, Sean had a hell of a good time when he went to Coda that day and filmed those kids. So he had a really good time that day.
Yeah. And you can definitely tell right there with those. And again, when we talk about youngsters being involved with racing, in my opinion, especially even more right now, I think that the quarter midget program is so imperative, I think, in getting involved, because what they do is they actually, it's super easy to have a lot of money and throw a kid out in one of these cars and just let them go buck wild out there and make a lot of mistakes. Like Trevor was talking about, not that Trevor did this. Times were different back then. Not that Trevor's that old, but I should probably just stop talking right now with all the stuff I'm saying wrong here. But what this does right here, the quarter midgets really do. It's a time where you've got these families that are involved in this, and they take them and they teach them. They teach them how to race, and they teach them the different things about it right there. And this really does show, like Sean was talking about, the grit and the determination that you see in them. And that picture is very, very evident right there. And Sean does check in right here, and he tells us, I mean, this is what it's all about. My second time shooting quarter midgets, a really great group of kids and parents. And that's the whole thing about it. That's what that group is all about. And thank goodness that's still a part of that. That's it. But like Bruce and other guys have talked about, it does tend to get a little cattywampus sometimes, but they do a good job of kind of keeping it in place.
Yeah, speaking of grit and determination, dog Rusty is killing me for treats tonight.
Oh, well,
sitting there trying to pay attention to the show, and I got a dog trying to jump on me, but he's half blind. He's about 3/4 of the way blind, about 3/4 of the way deaf. So
no, he's probably sensing that we're getting more weather. That we're going to get more weather tonight, because you folks, there it is. There's our theme of the day. Theme of the program here is that you're probably going to get some of this at various points. So hopefully racetracks are going to be able to get their shows in. Coming up, big weekend. Obviously the Indianapolis 500. Hell, they're re-showing on one of the Fox shows, FS1. They're re-showing the race from last year. A little bit of Indy 500 discussion, some of those tidbits, and maybe a little all-star talk and all of that good stuff. But before we do that, another word from our friends at On Demand Shirts, and we're also going to tell you about our friends at My Race Pass, which is the ultimate way to be checking out all the action on the racetrack. But first, it's ODS.
Precision, consistency. Just like in racing, these are our values as screen printing, embroidery, and everything in between. If it's branded, we can do it.
Welcome to the My Race Pass app, the #1 app for motorsports fans. We want to make sure you get the most out of your My Race Pass app experience. With your new free account, you can use the My Race Pass app to see race day information, including event entries and official lineups and results for over 600 organizations across North America. You can also see track information and purchase online event tickets for select tracks. With your free account, you can also search for a track or series on the My Race Pass app and favorite their profile to receive news and race day notifications on your mobile device. To see more information and to see which app subscription is best for you, be sure to visit getmrpapp.com. My Race Pass, the ultimate racing resource.
Absolutely. Check them out. It is the My Race Pass app. Be sure and get that and download it, and you keep up with everything going on at the Speedway, even if you are or not there. Also, want to tell you about audiovisual consultations, avconsultations.com, 512-255-8678. If you're looking for that ultimate home speedway, home stadium, home theater, whatever it is, don't just have to watch sports. You can watch anything, and they will set you up with an amazing setup, just like I have right here at the Shoe Studios. They'll come in. This thing is going to be cranked up and going. Here in just a little bit with Spurs basketball. There's some hockey playoffs tonight, but coming up over the weekend, there's going to be lots of racing that will be on the 3 screens right here. I've got a 75, 265s, and I may be adding something right here behind me. avconsultations.com, audio visual consultations. Check them out on the Facebook and on the socials. 512-255-8678. Check them out today. AV Consultations. Speaking of the weekend, let's kind of rewind it just a little bit. And again, this can be a very long discussion. All-Star race. And this is where I happen to think it was a good product. I happen to think that it was what an all-star race should be. Mayhem. I mean, you want shit going wrong. You want wrecks. You want all that stuff. But still, we've found a way to have a problem with it.
Well, I think the first 2 segments were good. Our races, segments, stages, whatever the hell they were called. Like I text you, that All-Star race was good until it wasn't. When it came time to go to the pay window and half the All-Stars were out due to crashes earlier in the races that didn't matter, Denny Hamlin stuck up that show.
Yep.
I'm not going to go RTP it and just take a shit all over it. I mean, I thought that we talked about it from day one. That total race length was 350 total laps. The points race at Dover, 400 laps.
Too long.
Too long for an all-star race. They've been on the NASCAR channel. They've been showing some of the past Winstons. I think right now, the thing that I've been hearing the most support for, and I think the way that they, what's old is new again. They want to take the Clash back to Daytona. The rumblings that we're hearing, the industry kind of does a little bit. The fans, because they're getting so much nostalgia back, they want to take the Clash back to Daytona, making it exclusively for pole winners. They want the All-Star race to be exclusively for race winners. But the biggest thing I'm hearing is that move the All-Star race to its own unique night. Move it to Wednesday night, the week before the 600. Basically tonight. Move it to the night. Then you got qualifying on Thursday, truck race on Friday, O'Reilly Auto Parts race on Saturday, and then you've got the big race weekend with the Indianapolis 500, the the Canadian Grand Prix in the middle, which I think is going to be weird as hell, and then you get the 600. So I think that's just a way to, I don't know, like that's so weird saying the Canadian Grand Prix the same day as the two of the biggest race in North America, easily, the Indianapolis 500. And you're going to run a race in Canada at the exact same time. But that don't make no damn sense.
Yeah. But both of those races, in my opinion, the Clash and the All-Star, should be a prelude or kind of an appetizer for what you're looking for the intended purpose, which in those cases is Daytona and the 600, the World 600. And that's exactly what they were. The Clash, the 20 lap, sprint race. It was a sprint race. That's how they build it. And what it was doing, it was getting you ready for the week that was to come, because you had everything else. And
really the 2 week, 10 to 14 days, really, at some points.
Because it was on the heels of the 24 hours, and then you had the ARCA 200 at the time, and then they had the late model Sportsman. So it really, and then boom, you pop that in there, but it wasn't everybody in it like it is now. And the same thing with the All-Star race, those 60 lap races where it was like, to me, an All-Star race, you have to have a prerequisite to get in. This is like if you're going to do, let's say that the Major League Baseball, for example, if you're going to have the All-Star game, let's go ahead and take the top 150 hitters in Major League Baseball right now based on stats. Let them all hit, and we'll trim it down to about 75 and put them on the All-Star team. I mean, I'm sorry. These guys are not all All-Stars. They aren't. Give them a reason to get in. I mean, and the whole winner thing makes perfect sense. And it does, like you said, it doesn't need to be It, 60 laps, 75 at the most. That's it. There's no need for zany segments. There's no need for anything. That felt like a normal race the other day.
It really did. 3 segments, normal race, 350 instead of 400. And get rid of the damn fan vote at the All-Star race.
Yes,
most
that's
people,
stupid.
most of the most popular guys are already in it because the most popular guys are already winning. Or
Yeah.
they've rigged up a way for the most popular people to get in, i.e. Dale Jr. rules, i.e. Danica rules.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
that's how when it got blown out of proportion anyways, when they were making special rules to get them into it, in either into the Clash or into the All-Star race.
Yeah, this thing just needs to go completely back to what they were originally intended to do, or intended to be and designed to be. I mean, this wasn't a regular race. I mean, this was something. It was an exhibition, and it needs to be that way. Let's go back to the old days, like these people are talking about. I found this a little bit of sound this week. We need to go back to these days, not only in racing but just life in general.
It's kind of getting common this when a fella can't put in a hard day's work, put in 11, 12 hours a day, and then get in your truck and at least drink 1 or 2 beers.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. You have to wear a seatbelt when you're driving.
Yeah, I mean, let's simplify things. Let's go back to the old days. Can you believe
Well, the
that?
seatbelt thing is Darwinism kind of a deal.
That's
if you don't want to wear your seatbelt, that's one thing. But
I man, I'm ashamed to say this. I remember as a kid, I wasn't a fan of the seatbelt, and like my dad, I think this was like 1982 New Year's Eve. We were going somewhere, and I didn't want to put a seatbelt on, and we were driving. We had a wreck that night, and I'd put it on. Like I didn't want to, and I put it on. We had a wreck, and I stayed in the car. I always wear a seatbelt now. That's crazy when I heard that sound. I mean, yeah, don't drink and drive. I mean, that's not a good idea either. But I found that I'm like, well, I kind of get what he's saying. But still, that's not what you do.
All-Star race should be as hard, if not. Actually, it shouldn't be as hard, but the hardest thing to do would be getting into the Hall of Fame.
And that system needs to be changed too, because
thank God Larry Phillips finally got in.
Well,
Let's start with that.
Yes, that dude should have been one of the.
He's the longest reigning Hall of Fame guy that's been on the ballot. He's been on the ballot for like 13 years, I think.
And NASCAR is one of the newest Hall of Fames, I guess, in Major League Sport, probably the newest anyway. But I mean, it's like
2011 or 14. 2011.
What they've done is they've just gone about it the wrong way, and I mean they didn't know any different. I mean, like when you put a bunch of people in at one time, it's like, I mean, spread this thing out. And I'm sorry, if a guy has 32% of the vote, you don't need to be in any kind of Hall of Fame at this point. Maybe you are at some point, but I mean, baseball, football, some years people don't get in at all, and that's okay, right?
Notorious for that.
Yeah.
No, not in today's world. Not in today's world. Somebody has to always get in.
Well, but not like necessarily.
It's like, well, it's not as I'm comparing apples to oranges with the participation trophy, but I mean, when you think of who gets in, like the fact that Greg Biffle didn't get in over Burton, I think Jeff Burton is a great voice for the sport. They call him the mayor for a reason. Biffle's got more wins. Biffle's got 2 championships in the trucks and the O'Reilly series, and finished second in the Cup standings, the guy that came closest ever to doing the three-peat.
Yeah.
But somehow Jeff Burton gets in over Biffle. It's like, now Harvick, I can understand Harvick. We knew going in first
that.
Ballot Hall of Famer. O'Reilly Series champion, Truck Series owner championship, Cup Series, 60 wins, ownership championships, all that stuff. That's Hall of Fame worthy. Yep. That is a Hall of Fame worthy resume. Larry Phillips, 5-time NASCAR National Series champion.
That dude should have been in years ago. Yeah. And
it's like, the problem is it's, and I get on that tangent again, as somebody that just went to the Hall of Fame 2 months ago, it is too damn Cup based. And I get that the Cup Series is the premier, but it is not the NASCAR Cup Series Hall of Fame. It is the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Well, and the other part about it is you don't need to have, I mean, like this whole modern vote, all of that.
That's
You don't.
some of those guys are going to get in.
Yeah, you don't need to separate all this. Do it all on one thing. Have a percentage. I mean, I think like these 75% things, maybe it's a little high. Maybe make it 70. And if nobody gets in, nobody gets in. And if you still want to do the landmark award or whatever all these other thing is, that's great. But you know, and the Squire Hall, I mean that's extremely important. I mean, I love that award. I mean, you definitely have to have that. But I think, and the whole thing with Biffle, I mean, I see all the outrage, but again, Biffle's number was pretty low, just like Neil Bonnet's, and I mean, every number that Neil Bonnet's ever had. If you were looking at based on a pound for pound percentage thing, he wouldn't have got in, just as he hadn't yet. But Biffle, and I mean, I was thinking about this earlier, and this is going to be very unpopular. I was always a fan of Greg Biffle. I loved the aggressiveness. I loved how he raced. But when he retired, he kind of rode off into the sunset. Nobody even thought a thing about it. He was gone.
Nope.
He wasn't one of the most popular drivers when he was racing, but now, I mean, after the fact, and a lot of it was for the humanitarian stuff, which I extremely applaud. Great racer, but a lot of this is a Cletus effect again. That right here, a lot of people that love Greg Biffle wouldn't know who the fuck he was if it wasn't for Cletus, and
That's true. That's true.
it's true. I mean, and like yesterday, the outrage, and I get. I mean, Biffle's resume is better. Biffle's resume is better. Quite frankly, I don't think either one of them needs to be in there right now. So,
I mean, the problem is that the way that Phillips got in is because he got moved to the Pioneer ballot.
For the Pioneer, right?
He didn't get in through the normal. You know, they
No.
divided up between modern era and basically, I understand why they did that because you know you got to have people in a Hall of Fame that people are going to know. You can't just have, you know, not everybody's going to end up being not everybody's going to know a Red Byron or a Junior Johnson or a, you know, Wendell Scott. Not everybody's going to know those names, but you're going to know a Jimmy Johnson. You're going to know a Kevin Harvick, Bobby Labonte. Those guys you're going to know. So I can understand getting them in. I'm just disappointed that Larry Phillips only received 38% of the Pioneer ballots.
Yeah, that's that to me. That's a travesty.
Burton received 32% of the
32
vote over Neil Bonnet, over Randy Dorton, and over Greg Biffle.
Yeah, and that's where, like, a lot of that, all of that presentation yesterday, like when Larry Phillips got in,
I didn't get to see it on the NASCAR channel. I'm just
so a lot of it, what it was, Bobby. I don't know if you can go back and rewatch this, but I mean, a lot of what they were doing after all this is announced is introducing us to Larry Phillips, like justifying why Larry Phillips got in, and I'm like, I ain't questioning that guy. Tell me why the other people got in. Tell me why Jeff Burton. I mean, I know why Jeff Burton got in, but then Miss Kennedy. Sorry, I don't care about that. It was like, look at this resume of Larry Phillips, and it's like, man, I know all that. He should have been in a long fucking time ago.
He should have been a long time ago. He should have been in 5 ballots ago.
Yeah, but I mean, I think at some point, you know, you tighten this thing down. And like the people that joke around, you're going to run out of people. You are going to run out of people at some point, right? I mean,
I got no problem with Harvick. I mean, I'm reading the NASCAR stats.
No,
one time Daytona 500 winner, 2 times Southern 500 winner, 2-time Coke 600 winner, 3-time. I didn't realize this. 3-time Brickyard 400 winner.
Yep.
And then, not to mention, he has all the owners' championships.
And what he's doing now, I mean, like they said, you know, he owns racetracks. I mean, he's a broadcaster, and so much of this too. I mean, the other thing, to not get on too much more of a tangent right here, is, you know, you look at the like the voting committees and all that, and I mean, I know that there's a lot of historic people on there, but then again, there's a lot of other people on there, you know, people that cover this sport that. I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't want to sit on here and bash NASCAR media too bad, but it's like, what do they know? I mean, anybody has a Google, but people aren't as old as we are. That's the other part about it too. So it's it is what it's a byproduct of it. It's the newest Hall of Fame, but I think you just need to let's do a percentage in there like the other leagues do, and if nobody gets in, nobody gets in, and if there's no ceremony, do something else. Honor the people that are in, or better yet, don't do nothing. You don't have to do anything. I think that's where NASCAR is kind of like with this all-star race in the Busch Clash. It's like we got to do something. We got to do something. No, you don't. Don't do anything.
Yeah,
sometimes nothing is better than something.
They don't even know how many races Phillips won. Somebody said 1,000. Somebody said 2,000. It was a lot. In terms of it, this is where the NASCAR stuff comes into play. During an 11-year span, from 1989 to 1996.
The championships, the track championships and all that. Yeah,
he won 13 track championships in 3 states, won 220 out of 289 NASCAR sanctioned late model starts.
Yes.
That is Hall of Fame worthy.
Yeah. This shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. That's like the whole discussion right now that's going on with Justin Allgaier. I'm sorry for the people that want Greg Biffle in the Hall of Fame. I sure as shit hope that you're not going to tell me that Justin Allgaier shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, because it's to me that's a Hall of Fame career that he's had, and he's still going. He's going to be going for a while, with what he's doing. But it doesn't have to be just Cup, like you said. It's NASCAR, and you talk about finding ways to get people in the Hall of Fame. With the Larry Phillips thing, I think maybe it was finally, well, let's get him in there, see if maybe some of the grassroots people will appreciate that and kind of give us some kudos, which I hate to say that, but I think that that's probably a part of it.
Maybe.
Yep. So anyway.
Maybe they just realized it was time to let him in.
Well, yeah. Let him in. That's he's earned it. Yeah, we can say let him in. He's earned it. Yeah, Larry Phillips, one of those, and it'll also be Kevin Harvick, who Jeff Burton and Lisa France Kennedy, which she's very accomplished. Everything that they talked about yesterday, I didn't know that she did all of that. I think I'd have put T. Wayne Robertson in, but I don't have a vote, and that's not surprising. So anyway, Indianapolis 500 coming up. It's going to be Alex Palou. This guy's unbelievable.
Is it going to be an Alex Palou benefit race, or somebody else got a chance to beat him?
No, I think I know this race well enough to the sense that kind of the way he quote unquote snuck up on them the other day, where he said he was in the top 11 or whatever. I think that he may jump out and maybe lead a lot of this race, but I don't think he wins. I don't think he's going to win. I think he finds a way to, whether it be getting in trouble or something goes wrong. I'm curious to see what happens with Alex Rossi. So apparently,
does he have to go to the back?
I don't think so.
They get to start or if they get a backup car, they get to stay where they are.
I think he starts. I think he starts in the middle of the front row still. He intends to race. A couple of injuries there for him. That was a vicious crash on Monday. Gee, God, man, that was pretty rough. David Malukas. Wasn't somebody laughing at David Malukas? Hell, he's doing all right outside of the front row for Penske. I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
Row 2, Felix Rosenquist. You got to think that dude was disappointed. He was fast.
He took their ass in that first 6. That second 6, not so much.
So fast. Here's the sleeper. I think is Santino Ferrucci in the AJ Foyt number 14. Kind of think that he's had a really good month of May. He will start 5th, the middle of row number 2, with flanking him on the outside, our man Pato. I think Ferrucci might be the one. Maybe I don't know. I'm not ready to make a race pick yet, but I'm kind of liking his chances.
I am. My dark horse pick is Dixon.
Yeah.
Not been incredibly fast. Not been incredibly flashy.
Yeah.
He's got a decent starting spot mid pack. So, and he's always been so damn close. This is the year that nothing crazy happens. Remember a couple of years ago, he flew through the air, had that just random ass crash and flew, and everybody thought he was going to break his neck or whatever. But I think another guy to look at, you can never, ever count out Helio. Never.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah.
Not in this race. He's got a chance to be Mr. 5-time, but I think I'm interested to see what Will Power does for Andretti.
Yeah. Well, part of the Indy 500 is, and I mean, our man Mario Andretti is one of those guys, probably one of the first that you can talk about when it comes to this, to where they find ways. I mean, there are curses on some of these guys and ladies to where you find ways to not win this. I don't want to say to lose this, where things just happen. And, I know a lot of folks are giving a lot of love to Connor Daly. I mean, he was extremely strong the other day, but I don't think he's ready to seal the deal. And I got to tell you, Takuma Sato sitting back there in the 12th spot, that's a guy to where it's like last year, I said that he was going to have a run, and people told me I was crazy. Takuma Sato was damn near about to win that race last year. And that dude, he like races one time a year. He shows up here, and it's like there's no rust. I mean, I think you got
three, 2-time or 3-time winner.
2. He's got 2. So you keep your eye on Taku. Who else we got? So Power will roll off 19th. Ryan Hunter-Reay 22nd. There's Newgarden in 23rd. Can you ever not factor that dude into this? Joseph Newgarden
at Indy, they never qualified that bad.
Yeah. Yep.
Except for the year they all missed it with their Mercedes. Was that Mercedes Motors the year all the Penske cars missed it?
Yeah. Yep. That's right. Kyle Kirkwood, who's been really good, he starts in 25th. Right next to him, going for the double, it's Catherine Legg. Can we just wish her the best?
That's what I'm gonna say. Get all 200 laps in and get all 400 laps in. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I see this immediate. She'll be the first yellow. No, she's a good racer. I mean, I think her goal is to run 1,100 miles. Is she going to win either race? Probably not. I mean, I'd say her chances are better in the 500 than the 600. But it's like, man, let's just wish her well. Come on, she'll roll off Mick Schumacher next to her. Let's get the balance of the lineup here. Graham Rahal not starting 33rd this year, so good for him. 33rd will be Jack Harvey. And
TV personality, Jack Harvey.
That's right, Jack Harvey. And the most popular name starts 31st, Stingray Robb. So there's
your first yellow right there.
Yeah, that is your first yellow right there. It is not going to be Catherine Legg. Hey, she's in a Foyt car. I think she's in a good place. So, looking forward to that. Curious to see with, now that they've kind of changed stuff up on the hybrid with the push to pass and all that. That push to pass gives you a lot of horsepower. I mean, that's a good amount of horsepower right there. They've kind of gotten rid of the whole half-ass pushing the button to where there's a minimum amount and all that. That's something really cool to check out. And hopefully
Formula One, because Formula One's getting so much crap about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to the 500. I'll be up early and checking that good stuff out. Before we get out of here, I do want to ask you a couple of
on Amazon Prime. Not on Fox. Prime. The Fox portion is over. Well, Amazon Prime through San Diego.
And this is where we go back to with the whole streaming versus Fox battle. Is all of the folks that don't like to have to go to streaming, they're excited that it's going to Amazon Prime because it's no longer Fox.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you weren't going to watch. Come on,
they'll find a way to watch. They'll find a way to bitch about stuff, or they're just going to watch the YouTube highlights, which sometimes you have to do.
Well, and here's a PSA free for people that may not be familiar with Amazon Prime. Go there and you can watch 30 days for free. I think that's the whole schedule.
If you time it right and get it the day of the 600, you can watch all the races on Amazon Prime for free.
You can watch it all. And like we said last year, odds are you already have Amazon Prime because you buy shit every day and it's out on your porch and you probably already have Amazon Prime. Click on it and see if it works. You never know.
Yeah, people that don't realize all the Amazon Prime, that's where you get the TV stuff is on your Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime. Yeah.
If you get your shit delivered next day or same day, chances are you'll be able to watch the race.
Yeah, chances are you have Prime. Yeah, so try it. If it works, there you go. You're good to go. Just a couple of Texas notes right here to get us out the door before we get ready for some basketball coming up. And I got to tell you, Bruce Wright is all Spanish tonight. Los Porch Pirates, they will come get you. Hi, Joe shit. Because and if you don't have one of them Ring cameras, they're going to take your stuff. A couple of Texas notes. Schlitz beer will be no more.
I know,
Gone.
185 years or something like that.
That's a lot of years. That's a lot of years. I remember, the Schlitz commercials growing up as a kid, and most vividly, I remember the more in my teenage years into my early 20s of being rebellion, the Schlitz malt liquor bull. Remember the blue bull, and I remember I was at a party one time with a bunch of dudes, and they rolled out a Red Bull, and this wasn't the one that gives you wings. This was a Schlitz malt liquor Red Bull, and that was the worst. Oh my God, that kicked my ass. Woo! God, malt liquor, the Red Bull hurt.
That does not sound pleasant.
Hurt really bad. In related news, when it comes to Texas stuff, Bill Miller Barbecue voted the worst barbecue. Worst barbecue. You like Bill Miller?
Not really. I get their chopped beef leftover sandwich every now and then. That's about all I get in there.
You can get the
now breakfast tacos are damn good. I enjoy the breakfast tacos.
Well,
but I don't get anything barbecue related on my breakfast tacos.
There's actually one just a few miles here from this studio, and I had some the other day, and I had that aforementioned that you can get the two chopped beef sandwiches and a side and the tea. You can get that for like $8.99. And it was good. Yeah.
That's about the only thing I get on the menu other than breakfast tacos. So
I will say that, but like the rancher plate, which I will say, because I will tell you that barbecue is just way too expensive. I get the price of meat and sausage and all that is out of control at this point. But I will tell you that it's affordable. You get a rancher plate for $14.99, 2 meats, 2 sides. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. But as that's voted on, they rolled out a cheeseburger. Did you see that?
Yeah.
They rolled out a cheeseburger. And from what I've heard, the cheeseburger is really good.
Supposed to be really good.
Oh, my God. Bill Miller Barbecue. Yeah, let's not dish on them. You're right, though. It's a breakfast taco staple is Bill Miller Barbecue. Yeah, good stuff. Chorizo y huevos, says Bruce is, man, I don't know what the Spanish is. Freckles talking about Red Bull. Freckles, you are way too young to know about the Red Bull that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the Red Bull that you young kids. This was like a 16-ounce malt liquor with a Red Bull on it. And famous last words from the man that told me this. And I ain't going to lie. It was a brother. He said, have this. It will rock your world. It did. I woke up the next day and I'm like, what in the hell was in there? And the bull was mad on the can. I mean, it was like the bull was a lot more pissed off than the one on the blue.
Yeah, I may try some of this new HEB barbecue.
Hey, let me tell you something. I have had that, and I know everybody's in the barbecue business right now. Look, I'm a barbecue snob from where I grew up, but I like Bucky's barbecue. I think Bucky's barbecue is damn good. HEB stuff is good. I had some of that. We tried that a while back, and it ain't bad. It ain't bad. For me, it comes down to affordability. This stuff is out of control. Out of control.
Yeah, especially if they go in and see Terry Black's.
Oh,
that's really out of control.
Hey, that's a friend of mine. But you're right. It's out of control. It is. It is. I don't know, man. This is where I kind of back to the Bill Miller thing. If I want barbecue bad enough, I will have Bill Miller rather than waiting in a 4-hour line for barbecue. If I just need that taste of brisket, or I need to have some sausage in my mouth, I will go that kind of sausage, the cooked sausage. I will go to the Bill Miller before I wait 4 hours.
Oh God, I'm gonna send that cut to BK right there.
And I will much rather go to Bill Miller for the. Yeah, that'll be the guy that gets a hold of this. We'll fix that at some point.
BK, that's gonna be a drop on that afternoon show now.
It's one of those things. But lay off the Bill Miller. Boom, right here. Thank you, Bruce. If you want to.
Oh, Dickie's is horrible. That was worthless ass barbecue up in the Metroplex.
Yeah, that I don't like to cast shade at people, but yeah, that one it's just not there. It is just not there. I'll tell you. I will tell you, it's just not there. Anyway, yeah, clip of the week. The clip of the week right there, Sugar Sean Folsom. If you missed that, boom, there it is one more time. The Sean Folsom photography photo of the week, and we will have those coming up each and every week right here on hashtag Real Race Talk. All right, my friend, rest of the week for you. Batten down the hatches.
And batten down the hatches. Gonna try to get some plans. It's hard to judge with the rain and stuff coming. Like the radar looks like it's going to be a complete coverage from Dallas all the way down to the Valley. But yet then they're telling you it's only a 60% chance of rain, and it's not going to rain everywhere. But yet the Futurecast radar shows it raining everywhere. So I don't know. I may try to get to the community pool. I may reorganize the garage a little bit. Definitely not going camping. That much I do know.
For a couple reasons.
Yeah. No shit.
Yeah. Rick. Now, Rick, this, I don't know, man. Up here, well, Rick's from up here too. There are different spots of this particular one right here that, and again, I'm not going to say the name because I know people within that organization. It's hit or miss. It's hit or miss. I can't sit here and slam them. I do like that spot. I do like that spot. I also like Smoky Moe's. I think Smoky Moe's is.
There used to be a Smoky Moe's right down from your old studio.
Yeah, still there. It's still there. And there's one close to the new studio too. But yeah, so there's our theme right there. It looks like there's going to be a lot of rain happening for the Texas folks. You may still have hope with Kennedale. You may still have hopes with Waco. And again, Waco's a Sunday show. By the way, Selby Holder, great job right there. I saw what he did on Facebook. There was an issue with I believe it was a stock car last week with some mounting spots and so forth for some of the suspension on there. Again, you talked about IMCA, the importance of IMCA and those stamps and those stickers. You go back, you check the history of the car.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's IMCA. So, yeah, great stuff there. Well done, Heart of Texas Speedway. Of course, Mobile, you can catch that right on Ultra if you're checking in on Ultra. Fun show. Eddie Shoemaker, Trevor Egbert, Sean Folsom Photography, photo of the week, and rain. Hopefully it doesn't affect everyone's plans.
Let's hope not. Hope not.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay, enough of the rain. Hopefully we don't use that again. Coming up next week, we'll have all of this and more, and no sausage in my mouth or Bobby's next week. We can continue the barbecue discussion next week if you like. All right, my man. Hope you have a great rest of the week. If you travel safe. If you're out and about, turn around, don't drown. All of those safe things. Find a racetrack. If you can't find a racetrack, find a streamer and check that stuff out. Showtime Bobby Chaffee in the southern part of Texas. I am Rodney Rodriguez in the a little bit more northern part of Texas, and we will see you guys next week for more hashtag Real Race Talk right here on the Revved Up Sports Show. Take care, friends.